Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. So I'm very happy to introduce the new Mig-29. So basically we've had a, well, not a broken flight model, but a prehistoric old flight model for the Mig-29, and we never really liked it. We didn't consider it particularly realistic. I guess it dated back to the kind of Flaming Cliffs lock-on days, the old days of DCS. Hence you never saw us driving the Mig-29 in our videos. But now it's finally been updated. It's the last plane to have an updated, inverted commas, modern flight model applied to it. And it's going to be awesome, I hope. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the flight model, the new flight model, what's changed on it, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Mig-29 in general because we never fly about it, hence we never really talk about it. And then we're going to go and do some stuff in the air, basically, make some pretty clouds, pull some stunts, see what we can do with the flight model. First of all, about the Mig-29, so it's commonly thought that it's a air superiority fighter. It certainly is not. So the things that make an air superiority fighter are mass, airborne longevity, i.e. a big fuel load, and mass weapon endurance, i.e. lots and lots of weapon stations. So examples of air superiority fighters in DCS are the F-15C, which has, I don't know, eight missiles in the gun, I think, and 25,000 pounds of fuel, so that's just 11.5 tons or 11 tons, metric tons of fuel. The Flanker, which is I think about 10 metric tons of fuel, and God knows 10 weapon stations, 8 weapon stations, 9, something like that. Again, so air superiority fighters designed to get above the battle area, keep hold of the air for a long time. Okay, that's not what this is. This is a shoot and scoot up intercept fighter, so a short range intercept fighter. It's not designed for longevity in either missiles or fuel. It's designed to get up from the runway, zoom climb as quickly as possible to height, and take out enemy bombers. Obviously this is Cold War stuff, to take out B-1s or B-52s that were coming to bomb Moscow. Okay, so that's designed to do. It does also have ground strike ability. It has a selection of bombs and rockets, but as far as I'm aware, no GBUs, that kind of thing. So it's a fairly modest air-to-ground loadout. Okay, so what we're talking about is massive, bigger than the other planes, massive power-to-weight ratio. So we have a quick look at these engines. Look at this. I mean, you can tell. Look at the size of the engines compared to the Bird. I forget the name of the engines in this now. They're dirty, but they're extremely powerful. And the airframe's extremely light, 31,000 pounds. In my head, roughly 14 metric tons, possibly less. So we can do crazy things with this fighter that we can't do with the big air superiority tank fighters, even though they even make an F-15 look slow. We've measured them with the drag races. These are the fastest accelerating planes in DCS. We've measured that even compared to the almighty low-level configured Figan. We will be after this. We will be doing new drag races to check the flight model. Check this is still the fastest fighter. It can carry the modern Russian weapons. Only the S Sierra version can carry the R-77. Is it Fox 3? That?
Yeah.
Okay. So, regards to the real life Mig-29, anyone got anything to add?
I suppose I could make note of the fact that in comparison to the SE-27, they were both designed around the same sort of project. The SE-27 being the heavier, bigger brother to the what the Mig-29 would do. So whereas the SE-27 would, like Cap said, lock down the airspace, the Mig-29's sole purpose would be to shoot down any sort of bombers that would pose a threat.
Firm, yep. And I remember reading in a book about the Mig-29, the design of it is very strange. It's designed, although it hasn't got much gas, it's designed around the gas tank. So they've got a gas tank in the middle, which if you can't see it, but imagine a big rectangle. Flat rectangle, kind of above the air intake nacelles, and everything's essentially bolted onto this big flat fuel tank, which is quite a strange design. As far as I'm aware, none of the other fighters did that. But yeah, regards to fuel load, pretty crap to be honest. What is it? 4 metric tons with tanks, something like that. It's pretty, less than half of the other the big fighters. And the burn rate is extremely high as well, so you can't stay in the air for very long. It has a drag chute for landing. Question to the group: do we consider a Hornet a air superiority fighter or not? Probably not. What was the maximum fuel load of the Hornet?
It's around 15k with tanks, I think.
15k is 7 tons. So it's somewhere in between, isn't it? It does have a lot.
Definitely a good intermediate fighter.
Yeah, I get intermediate. Roger that. Yeah, cool. Okay, we'll have to wait till the F-14 comes out before we get a full naval air superiority fighter. Right, that's enough chatting from me. Next, on to the new flight model and what's changed. So I guess we'd split this down into 3 things: the physics or the aerodynamics, how it handles in the air. The sounds, obviously engine sounds, cockpit sounds, stuff like that. And what would you say? I guess the graphics. So I know this isn't particularly new, but the new actual model, what I'm looking at here, lovely, beautiful, high definition model. Condensation clouds when you pull tightly, stuff like that. So
the cockpit has been retextured, and it looks beautiful.
Let's have a look at that first of all. Cockpit retextured. Yeah, this is looking pretty sweet, man. So this is proper top of the range stuff now. High detail, high resolution. I only run 1080p, but I guess a lot of people are running higher than that nowadays, and you'll be able to see a lot more. But so it's still a low fidelity model. I can't actually physically go and press all these buttons and switches like you can in a high fidelity model, but it's an FC3 plane, which means it's low fidelity, but it's still absolutely fine, completely worth it, definitely a thing to own. So that's inside the cockpit. One thing I noticed when you guys were flying about earlier, having a little doodah, is that it has condensation clouds above the wings like the Hornet does. Which is a pretty cool addition. As far as getting a little bit geeky, as far as I'm aware, when you put a high alpha angle of attack in one of these things, you're going to get high pressure below the wings and low pressure above the wings and above the fuselage. And what happens if you apply low pressure to air with moisture in it? You decrease the boiling point of it, and then you get this lovely fat fluffy clouds above the wings. You've all been to air shows, you've seen it, and it's now modelled in this. So that's pretty cool. What else has changed in... before we go on to the physics, anything else in graphic? Oh, sound. Sound's completely changed. I noticed that myself. I'm guessing... I've met the guy who actually goes out and records the sound for these planes. And for my sins, I've forgotten his first name. I do apologise. But I met him at Duxford, and he was recording Spitfires there. And so I guess he's been to somewhere in Russia, because he's Russian, and has recorded the Mig-29, so it's an accurate sound as well, so that's good. Anything else, before we go on to the actual handling and whatnot, is there anything else that you guys can think that's changed? Okay, so I've only had literally about 2 minutes to fly the thing. You guys who've had a bit longer, talk me through what's different, takeoff, landing, doing stunts, pulling maneuvers, dogfighting, what's different in the air to how it was?
Well, first and foremost, of course, the obvious change would be the flight model. So now we have the PFM versus the AFM. It means maneuvers are a lot more fluid. You can definitely tell what's going on with the aircraft inertial-wise. In terms of electro-optical systems, nothing much has changed there. I suppose another thing to make note of would be the thrust-to-weight ratio now. I'm not sure if that was modeled appropriately within the AFM, but now with the updated flight model, you can definitely feel between the different variants. So the A, G, and S, how the engine definitely affects the performance of the aircraft in general.
One thing I noticed, when I used to do tail slides, I would go up and I would go vertical, and then you start sliding back, and as soon as the nose pitched forward and it almost got to level flight, it would jerk as if the kind of physics were broken down. And the same when it stalled sometimes, and the same when you landed, there would be a kind of jerk where you could tell the kind of the programming had kind of switched over to a different mode. Obviously now it's completely fluid, like the Hornet or something like that, isn't it? You can put any angle of attack, any roll, anywhere. There's no kind of weird, unrealistic jerk feeling as the program. I'm not a programmer, so I can't really explain it. But I'm guessing it switches subroutines or something.
That was due to there being 2 separate flight models for the ground and the air.
I see. So you would literally switch over to a different routine then for the landing. So it's all now modelled okay. So it's good and bad. It's going to make it much harder to fly. I imagine it usually does when you increase the level of detail. This is one thing I noticed. I've taken off once so far, and it was really jerky when it took off. I don't know if that's something I was doing wrong or anyone.
It's very touchy. There's no fly-by-wire or anything in it, so it's very touchy.
So it's hydraulic dampeners, and that's about it as far as you're aware. Wow. So
you got it.
And this, I'm guessing it's an unstable platform as well. I'm guessing it's not a stable.
Yeah.
So
inherent rollback stability.
So just to fill people with that in, you can design an aeroplane like a Cessna that's stable. So you let go of the controls in a Cessna, and it'll pretty much more or less just happily tootle along because it's a stable airframe. This is an unstable airframe, so if you essentially let go of the controls, it pretty much immediately just goes into a stall or something. And the good thing about that is, because it puts it on the edge of aerodynamics, you can make it maneuver a lot better like that. But obviously, it without fly-by-wire is touchy, and this is known as the modern Widowmaker, this plane. Certainly in GR, very few missions of GR taken off on these and actually come back in them. It's often the plane that kills them, because it is it's so powerful that it's easy to put into a spin. It's easy to black out. Very touchy. Touchy planes are hard to fly. So it's kind of thing. Whereas if you had a super duper Igor, 20 years Russian pilot experience, you're an amazing pilot, you'd be amazing at it. But if you're a poor old Cap with a slow old brain, then you struggle a bit with it. But it's all good. All good. Okay, so we'll discuss the changes there then. I say we get airborne. This is not rehearsed, so we're almost certainly going to crash and die, but all is well. Let's fire this beauty up, guys. 3, 2, 1, booty. You can tell it's not rehearsed because Cap's motors aren't starting. Yes, they are.
It takes a while.
Yeah, my needles got stuck. That sounds pretty goddamn sweet if you ask me. An orchestra of 5 fulcrums. Okay, canopies down then. All units check flaps are down. Is it best to take off with flaps down or just land with flaps down, do we think?
Well, it's pretty prone to tail strike in this thing, so it depends how fast you take off. I say
Roger.
flap down.
Yeah, flaps down, okay, so yeah, good note there. I'm just looking at Graham's plane. Those booster noddles hang off real far at the back, so I guess we can't do much alpha when we're on the ground. So gentle
It's about
takeoffs
10
only.
to 15 degrees.
Yeah, I recommend a 10 degrees AOA.
I can't remember, I tested it before, and I think it was 15 is when you hit tail strike.
Roger. Centre manual flaps still aren't down.
Just maintain 10 degrees AOA until you get positive rate of climb.
Roger.
Also, another thing to note, the engines have a pretty high, long spool time now as well.
Do you mean starting or spool time in the air?
No, as in, response time for the engines.
Roger. Okay.
A second inertia until it actually responds, and then it still takes a while to actually spool.
Roger. Okay, I suggest let's do a little bit of flying together, and that's safe flying with no manoeuvres. And then after that we can break up and start arsing about with big turns, tail slides and stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll take off in a rough formation. Joker will take us or lead us on a big oval or something just very flat, so we can kind of form up. I know it's going to be hard to fly in formation, I can just feel it because I know how twitchy it is, but we'll see how it goes. Not too fast, not too slow, 300 knots or something.
Yeah.
So when I give the order, everyone's straight into burn. If you feel like you're closing up on the man in front of you, then just back off for a second. We don't want any silly crashes. Careful not to pull up too tight because you will smash your engines. Any questions before we go?
No question, but I do want to make note before we take off here for everybody you're flying Mig-29. and for those listening in, you need to be aware of the fact that there's a small margin between military power and burner, or cruise and burner.
Roger. Noted. Okay.
If you're using the X55 or 56 SciTech, it's around 60% of your throttle, where you will hit the afterburner D10.
Roger. Okay. I'll bear that in mind. I do have that. Okay. Anyone not ready to go?
Yeah.
Brakes on. A little bit of spool, just to what you can hold. Release some full power in 3, 2, 1, go. Graham's internet failed again.
Sorry.
Okay, that's my best takeoff so far.
I do not like flaps.
Oh, JD did not like that very much.
Caution left wing, JD.
Cap coming off the gas.
I'm still not sure I even have 2 engines. I'm still getting
You're fine. You're
whoa.
just all over the place.
I'm still getting a warning, caution somewhere.
Oh, this thing's very twitchy.
It is twitchy
It
as.
is very touchy, isn't it?
I think it'll be a very good plane to learn to fly properly because it will make everything else seem easy.
Yep.
Swallow up the spit, practicing the spit, and you can fly anything.
Alright, gentlemen.
JD, the caution reset is right shift N.
I got it, thank you. Everything is good. I'm right on your tail, guys. Lots of black smoke.
Yep, where we like
It
it.
really looks like phantoms in the air, you know.
Yeah, that's one thing I should say about this plane. One small problem: it creates an awful lot of black smoke, which in a in a visual range type of situation can cause problems with trying to hide yourself. The reason is I'm not sure. Does it use smoke for cooling? I can't remember.
It's something they put into the fuel so it burns and then it makes the smoke.
Literal water. It's like some sort of a water mixture.
Yeah.
How odd.
The latest
It's an identifying factor so they can see each other.
It's impossible to go stealth in this plane.
The latest Mig-29s have smokeless combustors in the engines. Those never pose this issue. Engines were
Right, I'm
going
gonna
right
respawn.
over the sea.
Well,
I need curves, boy. I need curves.
Well, the only way to remove
Bounces
this
up
is
and
to
down.
go afterburner.
We're going to be coming gentle right in about 10
Oh,
seconds.
that's why.
Gentle,
'Cause,
right?
when my throttles were bound to the fucking pitch.
3, 2, 1. Gentle right.
And right.
Now.
After Jerry.
And I hold that bank.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm in. I don't know about you, but I'm in the clouds. But I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
same. Just give it a bit of pull if you need to.
Bit of pull.
This plane is insane.
What we can do is we can take her around back to the airbase and we'll go for a formation landing when we're ready.
Gotcha. So we're going to take her up a
There will be no formation until, well, at least no tight formation until I get some,
I got somebody off my right here.
Cap.
Doing pretty good. Oh, there goes Cap. Bringing up the speed just a tad.
Speed up.
Just about 380 knots. Ah, this is beautiful. Wings level 3, 2, 1. Now.
Now.
Do you want a demonstration of the wing vapors here?
Roger, tell me what you're going to do so I can follow you graphically.
Right, so I'm going to hit the burners in about 30 seconds here once everything's all set. And, in about 450 knots, and then just pull back as hard as I can.
Roger, I'm going to fall back a bit so I guess so I can see you a bit better. And you go when you're ready. Just tell me what you're doing when you do it.
Yep. Alright, hitting burners in 5. Burners. Pitching up in 3, 2, 1. Now. Hard. As
Yep.
hard as you can.
Lovely vapors. Right, Cap's going to do it now. Hey, vapors. Woohoo! Beautiful.
Once you get down to about 300 knots, you can really see it.
Yeah, it's letting me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very good, guys. Very good. Right. Anything else you want to do before we go for a landing, guys?
Demonstrate that super maneuverability real quick.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and find out which one you are. I'm locking you now. Is that you?
You can go directly behind your jet while you're in burners. It sounds, you can just hear so much more now.
Stand by.
Versus
Do that, Jerry.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Start hearing the crackle of the engines when you're about a quarter mile behind.
Yeah. Future, can you do a 360, please?
1500.
Fuel 1500.
Yeah, same here. We'll be alright. You can still maneuver in mil power, to be honest. Right, start settling up in a trail, guys. Right, okay, now we're going to show off some maneuverability, and this thing is uber maneuverable, more maneuverable than pretty much anything, at least in DCS. Well, I know I'm going to get fanboys telling me off, but I think it is. Right, Future, when you're ready, take us through some BFM, we'll follow, and just see how it feels.
Gotcha. Alright, stand by. Corner speed for us is probably, I want to say, just about 350, maybe a bit more than that, so definitely hit that in the middle here.
In this is a bit more than that, because if you get high airway, then you just lose so much speed.
Gotcha, we'll keep that in mind. Alrighty. Everyone set and ready?
Great.
Alright, we're going to bring her on her back and pull, go through a full loop, followed by if anybody's able to force a scissors with me.
Yep.
Alright, bringing her on her back, and go.
Jokey, you can scissor rhythm when you're ready, and I'll watch.
Joker, where are you?
I'm on your 6.
Alright, you start speeding her up, I'm going to drop the throttle.
Okay, I'll go up.
Doing 430, 420. Let me know which side you're on.
I'm above you, right side. Low, left, fuck me, truck higher.
Gotcha. Did you just cross my nose here?
Yeah.
Alright. There you go.
Oh, this thing moves.
And with the EO and the HMD, this is an absolute killer.
I think you can even fight with the Mirage 2000.
I've lost sight of you now.
Yeah, they're so,
think-
the move is so fast, we just lost
It
each
just
other in a second.
disappears.
Alright, I tell you what, boys, we're going to be doing dogfighting after this anyway, so let's not worry about this. I want to see someone do a tail slide. I need a volunteer and someone to do it.
A volunteer Joker.
Right, come find
Not
us
very good
again.
with the...
Joker flares out. When you're ready, engines off and vertical.
Alright, we'll do a vertical in 3, 2, 1.
Watch that pitch ladder, watch that pitch ladder. There we go. And we're sliding.
Minimum speed.
Oh, I went all the way over.
Minimum
That is beautiful.
speed. Minimum speed.
And recover.
Minimum speed.
Nice.
Minimum
Alright, Future's
speed.
gonna head out for a bit. I'll catch you guys in a bit.
Minimum speed.
Joker, hang on, let me catch back up with you. You going up again?
Ooh, spool's
What are you
taking a
doing?
while. Oh, come on, baby, come on.
Right. Very good, guys, very good. Anything else before we head RTP?
Where did Future go?
It crashed as well.
Right, I'm gonna put my boards out, keep 75% RPM, 3, 2, 1, boards.
I don't see Kathy there.
I'm on
Oh,
Joker's
because
wing.
he's so close to Joker, that's why. Nice.
Of course.
Right, I'm gonna start my right hand turn in a second now.
Ever. If possible, try not to go completely other. I know it's really hard, but it's very hard for formation flyers.
Question, you
Start
guys
my
have your
turn.
air brakes on?
Yeah, 75% RPM.
Okay.
Right, starting my turn now.
Just FYI, if
My
you
gear
have
down
your
now,
center,
75% RPM, boards out.
if you have your center fuel tank on board, you cannot use your air brake.
Yep, I know. Increase the turn. Okay, I'm way off center. Oops.
We'll be alright.
I'm gonna hold 80% RPM.
I guess flaps will give us more drag.
Yeah, I'll put flaps down now.
Flaps down.
Gonna start left hand turn for finals now. For an idle power.
Idle power. Yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be okay as long as we've got our shoots.
Flaring.
Flaring.
And the wheels down.
Bit heavy cap.
Shoots coming out.
Oh shit.
Never mind, shoot's not coming out. The gear's gone down. My gears. Oh dear. I'm drifting.
Blew a tire.
Oops.
Blew 2 tires.
How's it say? Welcome back. Okay, I admit it didn't go too well. It was our first landing, so I'm going to try again and try and get it right.
Shoot.
The problem was I didn't trim myself right and I slammed myself down like a hornet.
Why do I feel like I have to trim this like an F5?
It's like an unstable F5. Less forgiving.
The F5 dampers help so much.
This
Yep.
is more like a Mig-29 without a nuke for me.
It's a MiG-21 on steroid.
bit fast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very hard to slow down this bird.
that's
Right.
nice.
So that's a little fast, but that's a better, more sensible touchdown without such a stupendous sink rate. I haven't got a parachute left, but I should have some brakes. Right. That's a bit better. Alright, well done, boys. That is the new flight model video done. Next, we're going to go and do a drag race, and then we're going to do some dogfighting. Thank you very much for watching.